This is Catholic Challenge Live on the Living Bread Radio Network. Teams will test their knowledge of the Catholic faith. Join us on this journey as we navigate our way from BC to AD and everything in between. Today's defenders of the faith will take up their shield and sword to compete for prize money for their organization. Are you ready for the challenge? And now here's your host, Michael Roberts.
Hello and welcome to Catholic Challenge Live right here on the Living Bread Radio Network. And today, as you can hear, we are live at the Faith and Family Festival here at Walsh University. And we've got two teams that are here. They're going to compete and test their knowledge of the Catholic faith. All of the prize money earned today will be given to the respective organizations that the charities that the two teams are playing for. So before we begin our game, though, we need to find out how to play. So here to read us the rules is Chris Fogarty. He is a parishioner at Little Flower Parish in Canton and also an instructor of nursing at Walsh University and a nurse at Mercy Medical Center. Chris, come on up and give us the rules.
In round one, each team will answer 5 questions. Correct answers are worth 10 points each. There is no penalty for incorrect answers. And if all 5 questions are answered correctly, you'll be given a bonus question worth 25 points.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. So here's our teams for today. Playing for the gold team, our first team is Peggy Delensky and Anna Williams. They are playing for the Seminarian Fund at St. Francis de Sales Parish in Akron. And against them, we've got Jane Urbanski and Patty Smith. They are playing for the Altar Guild at St. Andrew Parish in Norton. So teams, welcome. Nice to have you back with us here. We've heard the rules. I think we're ready to play Catholic Challenge. So here we go. Peggy Delensky and Anna Williams, we'll start with you guys here, team number 1. Question number 1, here we go. Belief in a false god is called the sin of what? Polygamy, idolatry, or blasphemy?
Idolatry.
Yeah, that's it. Question number 2, what event in Jesus' life gave Peter, James, and John a foretaste of Jesus' divine glory? The Transfiguration, the scourging, or the entry to Jerusalem?
The Transfiguration.
Yeah, you got it. Question number 3, this saint was born in Spain in 1515. She is the founder of the Carmelites. In 1970, she was declared a doctor of the church for her writing and teaching on prayer. One of 2 women to be honored in this way. Her feast day is October 15th. Are we talking about Saint Bernadette, Saint Teresa of Avila, or Saint Joan of Arc?
Saint Teresa of Avila.
Yeah, you got it. Question number 4, true or false? The doctrine of the Trinity means that there is one God who eternally exists as 3 distinct persons. True or false?
That is true.
Correct. And here's question number 5. What is the meaning of the words Veni Sancte Spiritus? Come, Holy Spirit, Lord have mercy, or Lamb of God?
Come, Holy Spirit.
That is it. You got all 5 right. So that sound means we move on now to the bonus question. It's worth 25 points. Here we go, guys. Who is ultimately responsible for Jesus' death? The Jews, all sinners, or the Romans?
All sinners.
You got it, and that is a round 1 sweep. So congratulations to Peggy Delensky and Anna Williams. They got all of those right. All right, we move on now to round number 1 for the blue team, Jane Urbanski and Patty Smith. Once again, they are playing for the Altar Guild at St. Andrew Parish in Norton. Here we go, guys. Question number 1, what is the belief that there are many gods? Protestantism, monotheism, or polytheism?
Polytheism.
Correct. Question number 2, what council in the 4th century, 325 AD, declared that the Son is of one being with the Father? Was it the Council of Jerusalem, Nicaea, or Avignon?
Nicaea.
Yeah, and that's where we get the Nicene Creed, where we say the word consubstantial, one and the same. Question number 3, she was born in Assisi in 1194. Her vocation was greatly influenced by St. Francis of Assisi. She founded the Poor Clare order of nuns. Her feast day is August 11th. Is it St. Cecilia, St. Clare, or St. Lucy?
St. Clair.
That is it. Question number 4, true or false? Because God created everything as good, evil really does not exist. True or false? Need an answer.
False.
It is false. We are called to a blessed life, but we also have the free will to turn away from God. All right, here's question number 5. What happened on the 8th day after Jesus' birth? His circumcision, his baptism, or the visit of the Magi?
The circumcision.
That is correct. All right, you got all 5 of those right, guys. We'll move on now to the bonus question. It's worth 25 points. Here we go. Which king ordered the slaughter of all male children in Bethlehem at the time of Jesus' birth? King David, King Kong, or King Herod?
King Herod.
It was certainly not King Kong. We know that. It was King Herod. All right, that is a round 1 sweep for you guys, the Altar Guild there at St. Andrew Parish. And just like that, our score is tied at 75. It's time now for a quick timeout. When we come back, we will introduce you to our contestants. Stay with us. You're listening to Catholic Challenge Live right here on the Living Bread Radio Network.
St. Raphael Bookstore is a proud financial sponsor of Catholic Challenge, the one-stop shop for defenders of the faith. Their resources are geared toward lifelong and new members of the faith. Online at catholicbook.net.
Prize money for Catholic Challenge is provided in part by Ziegler Tire, serving the listening area for 97 years and counting, with name brand tires and auto service that you can trust. Find out more at ZieglerTire.com.
And welcome back to Catholic Challenge Live here on the Living Bread Radio Network. We are on location today at Walsh University because it is the annual Faith and Family Festival. It is going on right now, but we're in the David Center, and we have got some great contestants that are here playing for some of their favorite nonprofit organizations. We've got Peggy Dolensky and Anna Williams playing for the Seminarian Fund at St. Francis de Sales in Akron. We've also got Jane Urbanski and Patty Smith. They are playing for the Altar Guild at St. Andrew Parish in Norton. So guys, we'll take a moment now and introduce you to our listening audience. We'll begin with the ladies from the Seminarian Fund, Peggy Dolensky and Anna Williams. Peggy, tell us about yourself, remind our listeners about you, and also about the Seminarian Fund.
Yes, I've been a member of the St. Francis de Sales Parish for about 26 years, and I have 7 children, and they've all gone to the St. Francis de Sales School. The Seminarian Fund is a way for us to support our seminarians and other religious, some of the women religious, because they devote themselves all their time and energy into their studies and formation, and we just want to back them up with some money for when something comes up that they need.
Well, and frankly, Peggy, and I've said this before to you on the air, really, it must be something in the water there on Manchester or whatever with your parish, because I know St. Francis de Sales has had how many, now priests, but seminarians, how many people have gone into the priesthood from the parish?
I don't know the exact number, but it's a lot.
Yeah, it is. It truly is. And I know there is someone right now that is a transitional deacon, right?
That's correct. We have about 4 of them right now studying in the seminary.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, so obviously there is something in the water there at that particular parish. Anna, let's introduce you to our listeners. Tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would, please.
Sure. I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. I just graduated in 2015. From Franciscan, and this is my godmother, and I'm here supporting with her and supporting St. Francis. Yeah.
You live in the area now, I assume, or did you come up for Columbus just for this?
I came up for this and
Wow.
for the festival here.
I feel honored that you traveled all the way to be on our little show here on the Living Bread Radio Network.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you for
Anna,
having
thank you
me.
very much for being here and for playing. All right, let's go over to the other side here. We'll talk to Jane Urbanski and Patty Smith. They are playing for the Altar Guild at St. Andrew Parish in Norton. Jane, introduce yourself once again to our listeners, if you would, please.
Well, I am Jane Urbanski, and I have been a member of St. Andrew for about 10 years, having moved here from South Carolina. And I'm an active member of the Altar Guild, and our purpose is to display devotion to the Blessed Mother, but also to beautify our church. So what funds we raise go towards making the sanctuary a lovely place to be.
Very nice. Let's talk to Patty. Patty, if you would please reintroduce yourself to our listeners. Tell us a little about yourself.
Okay. I have been a member of St. Andrews since I was born. I was raised at St. Andrews. I'm a member of the Altar Guild. I'm also Eucharistic minister, usher, and I teach sixth grade PSR. I have two wonderful kids that are also active in the church and the parish. And the Altar Guild is actually what brought Jane and I together as friends. So that's it's a good place to meet wonderful people.
And they're here in the audience cheering you on, right?
Yep.
They're not cheering for the other team, right? You're sure that they're cheering for you. I just wanted to.
hope so.
Well, I know. I hope so too. I just wanted to make that clear. All right. Thanks again, ladies, for coming. It's nice to have both of you here as we continue to play here at the Faith and Family Festival. All right. We're going to move on now to round number 2. But before we do, we need to hear the rules. And again, we bring up Chris Fogarty. He is a parishioner at Little Flower Parish in Canton. He's also an instructor of nursing here at Walsh University and a nurse at Mercy Medical Center. So, Chris, come on up and give us the rules once again, please.
In round 2, each team will answer 5 questions. Correct answers are worth 15 points each. There's no penalty for incorrect answers. And if all 5 questions are answered correctly, you'll be given a bonus question worth 25 points.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. We'll move on now to round number 2. We'll begin with the gold team, Peggy Delensky and Anna Williams, playing for the Seminarian Fund. Here we go, ladies. Round number 2 starts right now. Question number 1, it's true or false. As a boy, Jesus was aware of his special mission from his father. True or false?
True.
Absolutely true. Question number 2, which image or symbol is not used for the church in the New Testament? The temple, the bride, or the pyramid?
The pyramid.
The pyramid, that is right. Question number 3, who did Mary visit after receiving the news of her conception of Jesus? Did she visit her parents, St. Elizabeth, or St. Mary Magdalene?
Saint Elizabeth.
You got it. Question number 4, the word apostle means what? One sent, follower, or leader?
1 cent.
Absolutely right. All right, here's question number 5. Who are those baptized members of the church who are not ordained or consecrated to the religious state? Is it the catechumens, the nuns, or the laity?
The laity.
The laity, that is correct. All right, you got all 5 of those right. Let's move on now to the bonus question. It's worth 25 points. Here we go. What is the process of baptismal preparation called? Annulment, initiation, or catechumenate?
Catechumenate.
You got it, and that is a round 2 sweep. So congratulations to Peggy Delensky and Anna Williams, playing for the Seminarian Fund at St. Francis de Sales. You now have 175 points. Let's move over now to the Altar Guild at St. Andrew Parish in Norton. Jane Urbanski and Patty Smith, they are playing for that. Here we go, ladies. Round number 2 starts right now. What are the individuals who carry the candles during the liturgy called? Acolytes, candelabras, or ushers?
Acolytes.
You got it. Question number 2, where did Mary and Joseph flee to save the life of the child Jesus after he was born? Did they flee to Jerusalem, Egypt, or Rome?
Egypt.
That is correct. Question number 3, true or false? The Second Vatican Council said that the Eucharist is the source and summit of the whole Christian life. True or false?
True.
That is absolutely true. Question number 4, what is the major penitential season of the liturgical year, the major penitential season? Is it Easter, Lent, or ordinary time?
Lent.
Yeah, that is it. Question number 5, what is the color of a Franciscan habit? Gray, white, or brown?
Brown.
Yeah, it is indeed brown. All right, you got all 5 of those right. We move on now to the bonus question. It's worth 25 points. Here we go, ladies. What is it called when Mary received the news of her virginal conception of Jesus? The Immaculate Conception, the Annunciation, or the Assumption?
The Annunciation.
March 25th, we celebrate the Annunciation. All right, and that is a round 2 sweep. So congratulations, Jane Urbanski and Patty Smith. We're now once again tied at 175. Well, we're just about ready to move on now to round number 3, but before we do, we want to pause and thank our sponsors, making all of our prize money possible here. Every time we go out on the road and play Catholic Challenge, it is thanks to our sponsors. We say thanks to Ziegler Tire and St. Raphael Books and Gifts. We're so thankful to have these great sponsors continue to partner with us to help all of you learn more about the Catholic faith. So thank you to our sponsors. All right, for round number 3, to hear the rules, once again, here's Chris Fogarty to give us those rules. Chris?
In round 3, each team will answer 5 questions. Correct answers are worth 20 points each. There's no penalty for incorrect answers. If all 5 questions are answered correctly, you'll be given a bonus question worth 25 points.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Here we go with round number 3. We'll begin with the seminarian fund. Peggy and Anna, here we go, ladies. Question number 1. True or false, baptism of infants is a relatively recent development in the Catholic Church. True or false?
That's false.
It is false. The practice of infant baptism is a tradition of the church that has been around for many, many years. Question number 2. Which Old Testament tribe was set apart for liturgical service and for the priesthood of the Old Covenant? The Pharisees, the Levites, or the Israelites?
The Levites.
Correct. Question number 3. Abraham had 2 sons. Isaac was one of them, but who was the other one? David, Ishmael, or Moses?
Ishmael.
That is correct. Question number 4. Which saint experienced an apparition of Mary at Lourdes, France in 1858? St. Lucia, St. Bernadette, or St. Lucy?
St. Bernadette.
Correct. Question number 5. What is the vessel in which the consecrated host is placed for exposition and benediction? The chalice, the monstrance, or the pyx?
The monstrance.
Yeah, you got it. It is the monstrance. All right, you got all 5 of those right. Once again, we move on to the bonus question worth 25. Here we go. Which gospel does not give an account of the institution of the Eucharist at the Last Supper? Matthew, Luke, or John?
John.
It's interesting, as detailed as John is, he left that important part out of his particular gospel. All right, congratulations. That is a round 3 sweep. So we've got 300 unblemished points for the Seminarian Fund at St. Francis de Sales. I am seeing that this is shaping up to be a very exciting game. Let's move over now to the ladies playing for the Altar Guild at St. Andrew Parish in Norton. Jane and Patty, here we go, ladies. Round number 3 starts right now. Question number 1. The word baptize literally means what? Clean, change, or plunge or immerse?
Plunge or immerse.
You got it. Question number 2, true or false? The sacrament of confirmation can be received more than once. True or false?
False.
Confirmation is given only once, for it imprints on the soul an indelible spiritual mark. Question number 3, what did St. Paul do for a living? Was he a fisherman, a tent maker, or a blacksmith? Need an answer.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Absolutely. What did St. Paul do for a living? Was he a fisherman, a tent maker, or a blacksmith?
Tent maker.
That is correct, from Acts 18. Question number 4. A gathering of the College of Cardinals is called what? A consistory, a council, or a catechumen?
A consul.
No, it is a consistory. When the College of Cardinals get together, they call it a consistory. Question number 5. What animal did Noah first send out of the ark to look for land? It never returned. Was it a raven, an alligator, or a cat?
A raven.
It was indeed a raven, from Genesis chapter 8. All right. Congratulations, ladies. Nice job. At the end of round number 3, you have 255 points. Very close game, though. St. Francis de Sales is in the lead with 300 points. All right, we've got to take another quick time out, but before we do, we always leave a question for our listening audience at home. Here we go. A person lies to help their neighbor. In this case, is the act of lying no longer wrong in itself? Stay with us. We'll give you the answer coming up. You're listening to Catholic Challenge Live here on the Living Bread Radio Network.
The Living Bread Radio app is perfect for those times when you are away from the listening area. Just search Living Bread Radio at Google Play or the iTunes Store. It's totally free and has lots of great features. Proclaiming the truth with the Living Bread Radio app.
Local programming heard on Living Bread Radio is brought to you through the generosity of our listeners. To help support the mission of the Living Bread Radio Network and all of our local programming, call us at 888-966-2903 and make a pledge today. No gift is too small and your pledge may be tax deductible. That's 888-966-2903. Or use our safe and secure website at livingbreadradio.com.
And welcome back to Catholic Challenge Live here on the Living Bread Radio Network. We are live today at Walsh University for the Faith and Family Festival. We're inside the David Center, and we're playing some Catholic Challenge, because what else would you do when Catholics gather together, right? All right, we've got a great game going here, and right now, in the lead with 300 points is the Seminarian Fund for St. Francis de Sales in Akron, but right behind them, very close with 255 points, is the Altar Guild at St. Andrew Parish in Norton. So we're coming up now on our final round, but before we do that, we always ask the audience a question, for those of you that are playing along at home. The question was, a person lies to help their neighbor. In this case, the act of lying no longer is wrong in itself. Well, yes, you're right. It's a good intention, for example, that of helping one's neighbor, but it does not make that behavior intrinsically disordered, such as lying, good, or just. So in other words, the end does not justify the means. So it is still wrong to lie. All right. Here we go, the challenge round. It's a little bit different. And once again, we bring up Chris Fogarty. He's going to give us the rules. Chris?
Our challenge round combines knowledge and speed. The first team to ring in may answer the question. If the answer is incorrect, no points are lost, but the other team will have the opportunity to hear the question in its entirety. Correct answers are worth 30 points each, and in the case of a tie at the end of this round, we will have a tiebreaker question. The team with the most points at the end of this round will be awarded $200 for the organization they are playing for, and the losing team will be awarded $50 for the organization they are playing for. So contestants, get your buzzers ready. The challenge round starts now.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Here we go. Question number 1. St. Pope John Paul II was born in which country? Seminarian Fund.
Poland.
That is it. Question number 2. I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not have strange gods before me. Which commandment is this? Altar Guild.
First.
That is it, the first. Question number 3, which Jewish feast day was the occasion for Jesus' Last Supper with his disciples? Seminarian Fund.
The Passover.
That is it, Passover. Question number 4, what is the secret charism given to the Pope when teaching, Seminarian Fund?
Infallibility.
Yeah, when teaching definitively on matters of faith and morals. Question number 5. Where did Jesus work his first miracle, according Altar Guild?
Cana.
According to the Gospel of John, it was the wedding feast at Cana. Which hymn of praise, often sung at Sunday Mass, takes its first lines from the Song of the Angels at the Nativity? Seminarian Fund.
Gloria.
Yeah, the Gloria, absolutely. Glory to God in the highest. All right, and that sound means that we have reached the end, so this will be our last question for the game. What was Paul's name before his conversion? Seminarian Fund.
Saul.
Yeah, before his conversion on the road to Damascus, it was Saul. All right, that'll do it. That is the game. And with that, we say congratulations to the Seminarian Fund at St. Francis de Sales Parish in Akron with $480. They are the winners, and they have won a total of $200 for their organization. Right behind them, though, with nothing to be ashamed about, $285 for the Altar Guild at St. Andrew Parish in Norton. A donation of $50 will be given on your behalf. So again, thank you so much, both teams, for playing with us here today. Again, special thanks to our sponsors, Ziegler Tire and St. Raphael Books and Gifts, for continuing to sponsor what we do here on the Living Bread Radio Network with Catholic Challenge. I'm Michael Roberts, and until next time, do your part and defend the faith. We'll see you next week for another edition of Catholic Challenge right here on the Living Bread Radio Network.
You've been listening to Catholic Challenge Live, a production of the Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio. If you'd like to be a part of the program, email quiz@livingbreadradio.com. For a podcast of this show where you can listen on demand, go to livingbreadradio.com and join us next time for another edition of Catholic Challenge Live.
Thank you.